Welcome to Bahia Honda, my friends. This place is cool.
If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there.
Today, we're hiking the Bahia Honda Trail to the old train tracks. These tracks used to be, this was Henry Flagler's idea back in I think it was the 1800s. And he wanted to connect the mainland to Key West because it was one of his favorite places. So he built a railroad. Very industrious man.
So they started construction on this bridge in 1909, and they didn't finish it until the day before the first train arrived in 1912.
This project was a significant feat of engineering, designed to connect the Florida Keys to the mainland, culminating in a rail line stretching all the way from Miami to Key West.
Only a few years after the completion of this bridge, in 1935, was one of the worst hurricanes in the history of hurricanes that hit the Florida Keys. And it was called the Labor Day hurricane because it happened on Labor Day in 1935, and it took out 40 miles of the bridge here in the upper Florida Keys, and the bank was already approaching bankruptcy, so they were unable to rebuild it. 250 World War I veterans lost their lives that day because the train arrived a little bit too late to save them.
The veterans, many of whom were struggling with unemployment during the Great Depression, were hired through government relief programs to work on road construction along the Overseas Highway. On September 2nd, as the storm approached, there were efforts to evacuate the veterans. A rescue train was sent from Miami to transport them to safety, but it arrived too late. The hurricane made landfall with little warning, causing the powerful storm surge to wash away the tracks just before the train could reach the camps. The hurricane's destruction led to the end of the Overseas Railroad, and the line was later adapted for cars, eventually evolving into the modern Overseas Highway we know today.
Bahia Honda is spelled really weird, and I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's Bahia Honda. There's no H. Bahia Honda. Bahia Honda. You've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Spanish, right?
Bahia Honda.
And what does it translate to?
Translates to the deep bay. Bahia Honda. Specifically for this railroad track, Chevy in 1935 introduced a suspension system called knee action for taking those really big bumps driving over the railroad tracks. And the way they advertised it, the road was being built to drive your car out here, but it wasn't completed yet. And so they were saying there's plenty of time in between the trains if you want to drive your car on the railroad tracks all the way to Key West. I don't know how many miles it is, but it's a lot. I'd be pretty afraid to do that, but people were doing it. And it was their special knee action suspension system.
Right now we're on our way to go step foot on the old railroad bridge. We've never done that before. Pedals attached to the leaves. Look, they're like painted on. That's neat. It's bright red. They start out as flower petals and they turn into a leaf or something. Oh, that one's even a weird shape. Ah, cool. Over here you have the golf side, so you can swim and play on the beach over here on the golf. And then over to my left, you have the Atlantic side, and there's a little beach over here, But if you drive all the way to the other end of the park, there's a massive, beautiful white sandy beach over there. So this park is perfect if you want to visit both oceans. You're cut right down the middle here, so you can step foot in the Gulf and the Atlantic all within a matter of minutes. It's a beautiful overlook here, but it's really, really hot out today, so just sweaty.
Breeze is nice though, huh?
It's nice, but the concrete is radiating heat like crazy. The old Bahia Honda Bridge spans 5,555 feet across the Bahia Honda Channel, which was part of the East Coast Railroad, built by Henry Flagler between 1905 and 1912. They built a road over the old railroad bridge in 1938 as a part of the original Overseas Highway, which was used until 1972 when they decided they needed a bigger, better highway. So we've got that one over there because this was simply a one-lane highway before that. And they had to remove sections of the bridge, which you can see from the old Overseas Highway when you're driving either direction, that they removed giant sections of this old railroad bridge. And that's to keep people off of it. So they've got this one section here that tourists and locals are welcome to come use for the beautiful views, but they don't want you on the other rest of the bridge because it's decrepit and falling into the ocean every day.
As we stroll along the Atlantic side of the park, the sun-kissed beaches and vibrant turquoise waters create a stunning backdrop that feels both familiar and extraordinary. Each step along the shore reveals a world rich with nature, beauty, and history, inviting us to explore and to discover. There's something special about this state park, a place where the natural beauty of the Florida Keys unfolds in ways that feel untouched by time. Here, amidst the swaying palms and endless stretches of sand, you can feel a quiet magic, a sense that this place holds secrets in every wave and every breeze. Bahia Honda isn't just another spot on the map, it's a destination with layers of history, where nature and human advancement have left their mark. For those who come here, it's an invitation to slow down, to breathe in the salt air, and to let the simplicity of this place become part of the adventure. Walking along this beach, there's an unmistakable sense that the park holds its own story, as steady and enduring as the old bridge that once brought so many travelers this way. The bridge, with its weathered structure stretching out into the blue, speaks to a time when reaching the Keys was a journey all its own. Now, it stands as a graceful monument to the past, a reminder of both the ingenuity and resilience that make this place so special. As we leave these shores today, Bahia Honda stays with us, like a small reminder of what it means to be present, to be connected to the world around us. And so, with one last look at the sand, the waves, and that ever-standing bridge, we carry a bit of this park's magic with us until our next adventure. Here's to more moments like these, to the places that invite us to pause, and to the journeys still ahead. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you'll never miss another episode. And we'll see you next Tuesday for another adventure.